They send a tweet to the world saying, "We have found the Yeti." And the scientific world and the cryptozoological world explode.
No creature sparks more arguments in America than the Yeti. But the footage you're about to see pushes that debate to a whole new level of insane. It tumbles headfirst down a snowy slope, vanishes right under a helicopter camera, and leaves footprints on Everest. Do not look away, because you're about to see some of the clearest and most shocking Yeti sightings ever caught on camera. Let's start with the video reportedly filmed in the mountain woods near Banff, Alberta, Canada. It quickly became one of the most viral cryptid clips of the year. Everything happened so fast and looked so real that viewers kept rewinding just to make sense of it. In the footage, a group of hikers is walking along a snowy ridge when the camera picks up a tall, gray-white creature wobbling between the trees. Instead of running away like most Bigfoot encounters, this thing looks irritated. It suddenly grabs a jacket lying on the snow. The way it yanks the fabric makes it look like it's furious or reacting to a human scent left on the cloth. Seconds later, the creature loses its balance and falls straight down the snowy slope. This is the moment that made the video blow up. It tumbles like a massive body with no control, spinning in full rolls while snow explodes around it, and the impact sounds hit like real weight on frozen ground. At one point, it slides right past the camera just a few inches away, making the person filming shout in shock. The most unbelievable part is that after all those brutal falls, the creature stands up instantly and sprints into the forest like nothing happened. That one detail caused a huge online debate. Viewers argue that no person in a costume could fall like that and get up without a single sign of pain. The video went viral because it looked too real, too chaotic, and too impossible to explain. This next clip is one of those videos that has kept the internet buzzing for years. It was reportedly filmed on a snowy field near Chernihiv, Ukraine, on January 7, 2005, and it quickly became a legend among cryptid hunters. The shot starts out completely calm. Snow covers the ground, the sky is cold and gray, and nothing seems to be moving. But a few seconds later, a massive white figure steps into frame. The creature has a human-like body, but unusually wide shoulders, long swinging arms almost touching the snow, and its entire body is covered in thick gray-white fur, like something built to survive extreme cold. What made the video go viral was the way it walked. Each step was slow, heavy, and incredibly natural, like its body had real weight. The head tilted forward, the arms moved in rhythm, and snow kicked up as its feet sank deep into the ground. There was none of the awkward stiffness you see in costume hoaxes. The person filming almost stops breathing. The footage shakes slightly with every heartbeat as the creature gets closer. For a moment, it seems to look straight into the lens before turning and walking into the forest behind it. The clip shocked viewers because of how raw it looked. The VHS-style image was faded with no signs of digital editing at all. That is why people argued for years. Some called it too perfect to be real. Others said they had never seen a creature walk that naturally. This is why the video is still brought up whenever people talk about the most mysterious cryptid sightings ever recorded in Eastern Europe. What would you do if a creature that has been reported for decades in northern Minnesota suddenly appeared on camera, lying motionless in the snow? The video begins with investigators putting up caution tape around a huge white body. Long, thick fur covers its entire frame, its arms are as wide as a grown man's shoulders, and its feet look nearly as large as a polar bear's. Reporters crouch down to take photos. No one dares to touch whatever is inside the taped-off area. But the real shock comes when a wildlife specialist tries to collect a sample of its fur, and the creature suddenly opens its mouth, showing sharp teeth. and lets out a deep growl that sends everyone stumbling backward. The sound does not match any animal known in Minnesota. The person filming says this creature had been spotted several times in the Boundary Waters, a region known since the 1980s for reports of white figures crossing snowy trails. Some locals call it the Nordic Yeti. Others think it might be a hybrid between a snow bear and a primate. But no one has proof. The snowy slopes of the Himalayas don't just hold the footprints of climbers. In 1951, something far bigger left its mark. At 12,000 feet, where the air is so thin the whole mountain seems to hold its breath, British climber Eric Shipton recorded a discovery that shook explorers for decades. That afternoon, as the light faded across the glacier, Shipton and Dr. Michael Ward stopped dead in their tracks. Right in front of them was a trail of giant footprints leading down into the glacier valley, stamped so deep they could not have been made by a person. Each print measured about 12 inches long, 5 inches wide, and looked human, but not fully human. Shipton placed his ice axe next to one print for scale, and that photo became one of the most iconic images in the entire history of Yeti research. No animals should survive at that altitude, and no person should be wandering there alone. So what walked across that frozen slope? When the Sherpa guides saw the prints, they whispered one word through the camp like a warning: Yeti. Now let's move to the clip filmed by two hikers, reportedly captured near the Langtang region of the Himalayas in Nepal, and it quickly sent the internet into a frenzy. The footage has that blurry look you get from rough backcountry cameras, but what steps into the white background is completely clear. A large, dark figure is slowly climbing a steep, snowy slope. It moves slow but incredibly solid, with each step sinking deep into the snow like its body weighs several hundred pounds. What caught most viewers' attention was its posture. It is not leaning like a person would on a climb. Instead, it hunches low with its shoulders forward, almost like a primate trying to pull itself up difficult terrain. The creature passes a shrub, revealing an arm so long the hand nearly drags across the snow. Then it stands upright for a few seconds, as if scanning the area. A sudden quick head turn makes the person filming jump and nearly drop the phone. After that, the figure continues climbing and disappears behind a rock formation. Many viewers pointed out that this movement matches reports from local Sherpas who have said for generations that Yeti climb diagonally across slopes to avoid sinking into soft snow. That detail is what kept the debate alive. Was this just someone in fur clothing, or one of the rarest cryptid sightings ever caught in the Himalayas? And this next incident was reportedly filmed in the Pyrenees Mountains near Lleida, Spain, in late September 2024. It went viral almost instantly because the footage was unbelievably clear. The camera captures a large white creature stumbling between snow-covered pine trees. Its wide shoulders and slouched primate-like frame give it a heavy, uneven walk, as if it is trying to keep its balance on the ice. Its appearance revived centuries-old legends in the Pyreneo region. Local people have long told stories about the hombre salvaje, a wild snow being passed down since medieval times. Scattered reports in 1993 and 2008 also described white figures near Ordesa and Huesca, but none with footage as clear as this one. In the clip, the creature bends down as if picking something up, then stands and walks straight into the forest. Snow sprays around its feet, forming small bursts that show how heavy it is. Viewers in Spain kept pointing out that no tourist would wear a fur costume in such harsh weather and dangerous mountain paths. That is why the Pyrenees video is still considered one of the most controversial pieces of white Yeti evidence ever captured in Europe. If you think no video can freeze you in place, wait until you see a giant creature vanish right under a helicopter camera. This footage was recorded by Kyle Dempster, who works with a mountain rescue team in North America. They were flying over a snowy forest where tall pines stand like a natural wall. Kyle was simply zooming in to check for animal tracks when he noticed a dark figure standing in the middle of a snowy trail. At first he thought it was just a tree shadow, but as the helicopter moved closer, the creature stood upright, human-sized but far bulkier, clearly walking on two legs. Kyle yelled into the radio, "Oh my God, that's huge!" exactly as heard on the video. The pilot slowed down to keep it in frame, but only seconds later, when they changed angle, the creature vanished completely. No running, no falling, no new tracks in the snow. It just disappeared as if it never existed among the trees. Kyle said he and the pilot searched the area for another 40 seconds, but found nothing. Only snow forest and a silent white path remained. Comments exploded under the video. Some viewers were frustrated they could not see more. Others claimed the whole thing was staged. But Kyle insists he has no explanation. If that was a person, nobody can run fast enough to escape a helicopter's view. Now let's move to the case where a phone camera captured something standing on a mountaintop 3 times taller than any human. In this video, a driver is traveling along the Icefields Parkway between Alberta and British Columbia, a famous road cutting through the snowy Canadian Rockies. The sky as cloudy winds hit the peaks, and the driver casually points the camera toward a faraway mountain. But when he zooms in, the whole car goes silent. On the mountaintop stands a strange, human-like figure towering above the ridge as if watching the valley below. It stays perfectly still against the gray sky, far too large to be a climber. That slope is nearly impossible to walk on. The driver keeps zooming, saying, "It's a giant," in disbelief. The figure is tall enough to be visible from miles away, like a stone pillar, but a tiny movement in the shoulder area destroys that explanation. Many locals say the Rockies have old stories about the wild men of the north, massive beings living on high rock faces. The driver keeps zooming until the image fades in blowing snow. No one knows what it was. A person? A rock? If it really was a giant, the real question is, how long had it been standing there? Not every Yeti encounter is terrifying. This one is almost unbelievable. The video was reportedly captured by an infrared camera on a Himalayan slope. In the freezing night wind howling between the rocks, a massive creature steps out from behind a wooden post, its eyes glowing under the infrared light. The tall frame, lowered shoulders, and thick white fur make it look like a ghost moving through snow. Legends describe Yeti as a nighttime hunter creeping behind prey before striking. And at first it seems true. The creature bends slowly, lowering a huge hand toward a hedgehog digging in the snow. One clean grab should end it, but it does not. The hedgehog shoots its spikes straight into the creature's face. The roar that follows echoes across the valley like it was stabbed from all directions. The Yeti stumbles back, covering its head, and all the fearsome power fades away. It runs like a terrified giant fleeing from an animal smaller than its own foot. What makes this funny and fascinating is that Sherpa legends have said for generations that Yeti hate sharp objects, especially those with strange biological sense. So instead of being the hunter, this Yeti becomes proof that even legends have their embarrassing moments. Next is the story of a man who felt something watching him in the woods and actually caught it on video. While filming the quiet, mountain scenery, he notices movement in the thin fog. A large, shadowy creature runs fast between the trees. Its silhouette looks human, but its speed and movement do not match any human. He grips the camera tighter, trying to stay calm as the dark figure slips through the mist. Then, for one split second, the creature stands upright in the open, staring directly at him before vanishing without a sound. Only shaking branches remain, as if something weighing hundreds of pounds rushed through. If you have ever wondered what a real Yeti would look like, this clip gives the most unsettling answer. Snow covers the peaks, and the air is completely silent, like the whole mountain froze in time. Between the white slopes, a tall figure walks slowly upright, like a person but heavier and more deliberate. Each footprint sinks deep into the snow, too wide and too heavy to belong to humans or known animals. The prints stretch in a perfect straight line, as if the creature knows exactly where it is going. Too big, too heavy, too intentional. And the strangest part is the feeling that it knows it is not alone. No one expected this to happen on a casual night drive. A group of teens is laughing in the car, the snowy mountain road glowing under the headlights. Suddenly, the driver slams the brakes. A huge shape is crossing the road. It is tall, clearly humanoid, covered in pale fur reflecting the headlights. For a brief second, it turns its head, eyes shining coldly. Then it bolts into the dark forest, disappearing instantly. No one speaks. Only their pounding hearts fill the silence. One thought remains. That was not a person. That was a Yeti. Sometimes the scariest part is not the creature itself, but the feeling that it is watching you. The man keeps filming, his hands shaking as he follows the giant footprints in front of him. Then suddenly a tall, dark figure passes between the snowy trees. He freezes, his breath turning white in the cold. The camera zooms in slowly. The shape becomes clear, a heavy, two-legged creature walking through the mist with calm, steady steps, as if it is not worried about being seen. It looks nothing like a bear, nothing like a human. It looks like something outside everything we understand. Deep in the snow-covered taiga of the Altai Mountains, where locals whisper stories about Karakana, a snow spirit said to guard the forest, a rare video was recorded. A local hunter searching for tracks stumbles upon a tall creature standing in the gray silence. Long white fur hangs in heavy clumps like frozen branches. It stands upright, like a warrior made of fur armor with eyes dark and old, as if it has lived through countless winters. Each breath forms thick clouds, and its long human-like fingers drag across the snow. People say Karakana only appears before major changes in the land, and its presence this time made many feel the forest was warning humanity. It does not roar or run. It simply watches the camera, and that alone terrifies millions of viewers. Now let's end with the last thing you ever want to see under ice: a face. On a frozen lake in Siberia, a group of hikers is checking ice thickness. One of them brushes snow aside, and the whole group freezes. Under the clear ice is a massive head. Round, pale eyes wide open, like it was screaming before the cold swallowed it. They scrape more, and the shape becomes clear. Thick, gray-white fur covers the skin, the mouth is slightly open, and the face is far too large to match any known Arctic animal. The filmer leans close to the ice for a better look. Suddenly, the head twitches. Everyone jumps back in panic. That single moment sent the clip viral across TikTok, YouTube, and Reddit. Comments were a mix of horror and disbelief. Some joked, thought the metal detector only finds rings. Others said, could be a polar bear, if polar bears had coconut-shaped heads. Theories popped up non-stop. Maybe it was a drowned bear deformed by ice. Maybe it was a staged prank. But the most disturbing detail was the movement. Not light refraction, not trapped air. It actually moved. And with those pale eyes staring up through the ice, one chilling question remains. If it is not dead, what is it waiting for? You have now watched 15 Yeti moments that froze the internet and sparked more questions than answers. Which one felt the most real to you? Which one gave you chills? Leave your thoughts below, and do not forget to follow, because the next piece of evidence could be even crazier.